What is up, everybody? Matt Modi here with Jedi Modi Sports Network, here to give you my NFL pumped up props for NFL Week 8. I believe it's now Week 8, which is crazy. Thursday Night Football between the Bucks and the Bills. What I mean by pumped up props, all I do is find a player prop that I like, pump up those numbers a little bit, get it to a point where we can find pretty juicy odds, and lock those bad boys in. I've only been doing this for 2 days now. I did NFL Sunday and then I did Monday Night Football, but the results have been there. Finally, we've gotten 3 of our pumped up props to cash. We've only lost 2 of them, so we are up over 7 units in 2 days of doing this. Now, obviously, it's a tiny sample size. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but it's just nice to get some W's on the board after how brutal this football season had started for me. So Monday Night Football, to do a recap real quick from that specifically, I laddered and pumped up George Kittle, his receiving yards and his receptions. He hit his receiving yards. He was 1 catch away from hitting his receptions, and he did get that the last target of the game before Brock Purdy threw an interception, so that definitely hurt. But regardless, happy to cash that one out. The receiving yards end of the day up, bringing again our total profit to above 7 units. It's only been 2 days. I'm not going to go ahead and get too excited yet. Again, I'm just happy that we've had some success because the first 6-7 weeks of the NFL season were brutal. No way around it. We're absolutely brutal. So if you have been sticking around with me, I appreciate you. If you are new, make sure to subscribe. I would appreciate that a ton. And let's chat Thursday Night Football. So again, we got the Bucks versus the Bills. I'm going to have a play for each team. The first one that we're going to go ahead and lock in here is Mike Evans, 80 plus receiving yards. That is at plus 235 odds at DraftKings. So Mike Evans, he's been great this year. He's been great for Baker Mayfield. I think he's going to continue to be great in this game. I first want to talk about the matchup before I get into Baker Mayfield. The matchup is not nearly as scary as it was at the beginning of the year. No fault of the Bills, but they have been decimated by injuries, probably to their 2 most important players on defense, in Tre'Davious White and Matt Milano. Because of those injuries, they just have not been the same defense, not even close. It's been 3 weeks since they went down. All 3 quarterbacks have gone over their passing yardage prop in the past 3 weeks since those injuries. And the week before that, when they were still healthy, they gave up 282 passing yards to Tua, which was a lot. His over-under was 289, so that counts as an under. So if you just look at their entire stats on the season as a whole, it still shows a good defense, but that is not the case anymore, and it's why you can't just look at total season-long stats for your information. You need to take into account if something's changed as well. And if you look at their DVOA for the past 3 weeks, they have been the 5th worst defense in the entire NFL for the past 3 weeks. So this is all to say that I do not think the Bills defense is going to shut down the Bucks offense, but I'm specifically riding with Mike Evans over Baker Mayfield in terms of my pumped up prop. I think that Evans is going to have a great game. He's clearly been Baker Mayfield's favorite target. They have a great connection, and I love the fact that as much as Baker has struggled pretty much since his rookie year, he's always had a good deep ball. Mike Evans has always been a good deep ball receiver, so that connection has worked out. Granted, he's only cleared 80 plus receiving yards twice this year. He did it in week 2 when he had over 100. He had a monster game, and then he did it last week. But the reason why I like this one is because he's continually and consistently been getting a ton of targets. In every single game this year, he's had at least 8 targets, except for one game. Every game except for one, he's had at least 8 targets. And 3 of the 6 games, he's had double-digit targets. He's had 10. So because of the deep ball prowess between Baker and Mike Evans and the fact that the Bills defense has been struggling, I think that they're going to have a high depth of target in this game. I think Evans is going to have a really good game. And for what it's worth, Props.Cash is who I've used for a lot of this research. They project Mike Evans to have 77 receiving yards. So right around this number for plus 235, we're getting really good value. I considered doing 75 plus yards, but it was only at plus 190, and I wanted to get these above plus 200. So that's what we're going with. Mike Evans, 80 plus receiving yards, plus 235 odds at DraftKings. Next up, our second and final pick for Thursday Night Football. going with the player on the Bills, and we're taking Dalton Kincaid, 60 plus receiving yards. This is at plus 240 odds at FanDuel. Now, for this one, I do worry about being too reactionary to Dalton Kincaid's last game. It was the best receiving game of his career by far, but I think that there are enough reasons why that I believe that wasn't an outlier that I'm not scared off. So let's talk about that last game. Again, Dalton Kincaid's best game of the year by far. He had 75 receiving yards on 8 targets, of which he caught all 8. So he caught 8 of 8 targets for 75 yards. And this was a stat that I saw from Connor Allen at 444. That's the name of the company, 444. Dalton Kincaid did the majority of the damage against the zone defense. Basically, like I think 72 of his 75 receiving yards and 7 of his 8 receptions were against when the Patriots were playing zone defense. The Bucs play zone at the 6th highest rate in the NFL, a heavy zone team. Now, the Bucs do grade out well against tight ends, so that part is a little bit concerning as well, but I'm still predicting Dalton Kincaid to have a good game. Another reason why, so despite the fact that he's a rookie coming off of his best game of his career, the main reason why I'm in on this is because Dawson Knox, the other Bills tight end, is going to miss this game, and he's going to miss the next couple games as well. Dalton Kincaid's main line is 40, and I am expecting that we will not see anymore his line be that low. I think that is ridiculously low. And despite the Bucs defense being good against tight ends, they're not necessarily good through the air in general. They're a very good running defense, but they're not a great passing defense. They allow 246 passing yards per game. That is the 6th most in the NFL. It's ranked 27th overall. And we all know how pass happy the Bills are. Even if it's not a neutral or positive or negative, whatever you want to call it, game script, the Bills love to pass the ball, and especially against a defense like the Bucs that is a very good defense. I think that the Bills are going to pass a ton. I think Kincaid can get another 8+ targets in this one as well. Hopefully cashing our 60+ receiving yard prop for this one, plus 240 odds. Again, the value is great. And that's it. Those are my 2 pumped up props for Thursday Night Football. Mike Evans, 80+. Dalton Kincaid, 60+. If we get one of these 2 to cash, we will at least be profitable. If we get both to cash, I'm not going to quite say we'll be rich, but it would be very nice. So let's hope for that. And that's it. So I appreciate everybody for watching. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, comment if you're tailing, comment if you're fading, comment if there's another pumped up player that you like. Appreciate everybody for watching, and have a good one.